Welcome, Revs fans, to the first ever report here on Goodrevs. It is a lovely, lovely Tuesday evening here on June 30th. Unfortunately, tonight it is not so lovely for the New England Revolution. The Boston Metro today posted an article saying that Steve Nicol himself believed that it would only be a matter of time before his players would succumb to the difficulties of all the fatigue, the consistency of play, and it finally happened here tonight against the Harrisburg City Islanders in Open Cup play. Coming off of only one day of rest after their 1-0 win in Superliga play against Atlas, the Revolution could not muster a win. Jeff Larenowitz's goal against the Harrisburg Islanders proving futile in the end, and a 2-1 loss in extra time. Wasn't that great for the Revolution, however, obviously the consolation being that now they have one less event to look forward to. And this having been said, if you parallel what has happened this season to what has happened in the past, such as last season, not having the U.S. Open Cup is really a big load of pressure off the shoulders of the players, of the coaching staff. Now it allows players to be liberated to focus more on what matters, Major League Soccer, making it into the playoffs, and doing well in the Superliga. Obviously, the Revolution doing very well. They have a matchup against the Chicago Fire on July 15th. On Independence Day, they take on the LA Galaxy. So, really hoping things will go well in that respect. For the Revolution, they are still missing many key players, among them Steve Ralston, Taylor Twellman, Shalry Joseph, Chris Albright, Mauricio Castro. And the list goes on, but luckily for the Revolution, they might have some firepower on the way through the face of Edgaras Jankauskas. Now, Jankauskas is a Latvian midfielder forward, and he has been on trial with the Revolution for the past week or 2 weeks. And he's received many great words from Revolution players such as Jay Heaps, and coaching staff is very impressed with him. The only problem with Jankauskas is the amount of money it will take to sign him, and the fact that it will mean that the Revolution will have to release one of their international players. Now, if you look around here, you see the international players, Shalry Joseph, Pat Phelan, they're very consistent. You look to see them stay, but guys who really are on the fence are Gabriel Badilla, Kenny Mansali, and Mauricio Castro. Now let's take a second to talk about the Gambian Kenny Mansali. Kenny Mansali in the past few games has really lit up. He's been a handful for opposing defenses. He leads goals for the Revolution in Superliga play. He's been invaluable here during the time of the absence of Taylor Twellman, and he will be even better. And this having been said, Kenny Mansali, I think, knows that he's on the fence here to be booted out from the Revolution, with this signing of Edgaras Jankauskas. And at this juncture, the Revolution should be focused on what will get them wins. And a player like Jankauskas will probably get them wins, be able to hold the ball, be a more veteran type of Steve Ralston, something that the Revolution has really been lacking this season. Not scoring many goals and really not having the most savvy of Major League Soccer defenses. So, Kenny Mansali doing an excellent job. He's really been a handful for opposing defenses, finding the open spaces. Another young guy who's really doing an excellent job has been Nico Kulalucha. He made his debut in the 1-0 win against Atlas. He had a shot off the post and budgeted the midfield exceptionally well. I see great things from him. So let's go on now. Let's talk about Taylor Twellman. And the story with Twellman has been injuries. Ever since he took that hit from Steve Cronin in the David Beckham match last year at Gillette Stadium, things have not been going well for Taylor Twellman. He's been suffering from whiplash and neck pains and different injuries that have really hindered his performance with the Revolution. He's had 2 appearances this season, in one of them scoring his 100th and 101st MLS goals. Now that is great, but if you are a fan or a coach or anyone who really follows the Revolution closely, you have to wonder, when is Taylor Twellman's leash up? And at this juncture, you might have to say that it may be coming soon, because, if you're an owner paying such large amounts of money for this star striker and he's not giving you what you need, whether he doesn't want to or it's because of injury, it may be time to cut the leash short. So what does this mean for Taylor? Well, obviously, it's a difficult situation for the Revolution. He's been a marquee player since 2002 when Steve Nicol brought him aboard. But if you are the Revolution, you have to wonder when it's time to let him go. Now, he's played in 2 appearances. Last year, he scored 6 goals, and you have to wonder, a guy who you pay to score 20, 25 goals when he's not playing, it really puts in the team in a very difficult position. So you might have to think that it's time for Taylor Twellman to move on, maybe the Revolution to move on and find a new marquee player, whether it's another African or an American-born guy or a star from Europe. Something new, some new blood has to enter the Revolution to start this new era, an era that has been without Pat Noonan, without Andy Dorman, without Michael Parkhurst. It needs to happen now. So, as we said before, fans, despite the ongoing setbacks of having players out and injured, despite them being key players, the Revolution will still have to contend with the home stretch of their season, which starts on Independence Day against the Los Angeles Galaxy. Then it gets very tricky with the semifinals of the Superliga coming up. The Revolution will take on the Chicago Fire at Gillette Stadium on July 15th and continue on with league play. Being out of the U.S. Open Cup, they will have chances to rest up from game fatigue. This is Julian Cardillo wishing you a pleasant good evening, and as always, go Revs.